Hi, Gene Burnett from GeneBurnett.com, back again with another Tai Chi tip. Today's Tai Chi tip is going to be balance tips for older people, people who are old. The reason I'm not saying senior citizens is because one of the first things you have to accept as you get older is that you're getting older. And you may feel 35 or 40 in your head, even though you're 60 or 65 or 70 or 80 or older. You may feel 35 or 40, but you're not. Your body is simply getting older. The cells are aging, the balance functions are not as good, and you need to put a little more attention on that. So we're going to talk a little bit about how to improve your balance and, most importantly, reduce your chances of falling. So one of the best things you can do, and it's really simple, these aren't going to be complicated Tai Chi exercises. One thing is just to stand with your feet 50-50, parallel, like your feet are parallel with each other, about shoulder width apart, and just bend your knees a little bit. And you can even put your fingers on your hips, if you do that too, Betty, and just push in that way a little bit. In this way, and then down. Yeah, it's just that far. Stay there. Yes, there. So what you do when you do that, when you make that little crease there like you're sitting on the edge of a stool, is that you make your legs springs and you put your weight in your thighs, as opposed to locking your joints like this, where you stand like this with the pelvis forward and the knees back. We want the opposite of that, knees forward, pelvis back, right? So when you have that springy thing like that, you're standing on springs, which can give and take a little bit. You're strengthening your legs, and you're, most importantly, not walking around on stilts, so that you are up here on these stilts, instead of you being down here in your body. If you're on the ground, you can't fall, really, because you're already on the ground. You're already on the ground. But if you're up here, oh, if I fall, I've got a long way to go. So identify with your whole body, feel that little crease there, and always bend your knees a little bit when you stand, just a little bit. If you want to go further, you can sit into them like that. Don't bend them so far that there's pain or the knees shoot out over your toes or anything like that. Just a little bit. So just doing that one little thing will really strengthen your legs and improve your balance. Now the next thing you can do is, while you're there, bounce a little bit. This is my student Betty LaDuke, and she and I are just going to bounce a little bit. So we're just a little faster, a little faster. Yeah, a little pulsing bounce like that. So simple. You can do this when you're waiting for the tea to boil, or waiting for the toast to toast, or the microwave popcorn to pop, or whatever. Or get up and do it for one commercial for every half an hour you watch TV. 2 minutes. Bounce like that. So when you bounce like that, you're getting a flexible kind of a reset of your alignment. You have space in here. If it hurts your knees, if it hurts anything, stop. But mainly you should feel just a little bit of burn in the thigh, and that's good. That's your muscles getting a little stronger. So that's a really simple one. Leave them bent, always a little bent, and bounce a little bit. Another really simple thing you can do is just shift your weight to one leg or the other. You're not lifting the other foot. This one is light, but I'm just shifting my weight over here. And now I'm just going to bounce into the one leg instead of the two. Really simple exercise. You just pick a leg, shift over and bounce into one, and you'll find that that leg has to work even harder. And it gets a little more work, and then shift to the other leg. And then you bounce on that one. So it's a bounce, but it's a bounce into one leg instead of two. If that feels good, and the bounce is about 1 or 2 a second, like 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, kind of like that. Another thing you can do is try to go to one leg and just lift the heel of the other leg. So now you're getting closer to balancing on one leg. You're just lifting the heel, and you can bounce there a little bit if you want to. Go to the other leg, and then just lift the heel. So now it's even more clear that your weight is really on one leg or the other. And then you can take that a little bit further, go back to the other leg, and now just put the toe very, very lightly on the ground, just barely touching. And now you're essentially balancing on one leg. You have that foot right there in case you lose your balance. If you're afraid of losing your balance, you can do it near a kitchen counter or near something steady like a wall that you can just catch your balance on. So go to the other leg, and we're just very lightly touching the tip of the toe of the other leg, just so you feel like, okay, I know where the ground is. Now if you want to go a little bit further, you can actually just lift that foot. And if you lift the foot, then you'll really feel the balance challenge in the leg that doesn't have your weight. Like that. And then you can go to the other leg. And again, you can do this for longer and longer. If you feel it, you can do a little bit of a bounce there. But again, leave a wall or a counter or something nearby. But you see what we're doing? We're first building a connection to the ground, pulsing a little into the legs to strengthen that springy feeling. Then we're doing it on one leg or the other. So we're gradually challenging the balance a little bit more, and then finally we're going to one leg with just the slightest touch, with or without bouncing. One leg with just the slightest touch, with or without bouncing. And then we're going for full-on one-leg balance. And full-on one-leg balance, like that. Right? So those are some simple, everyday things you can do to just get you thinking about the ground, get you thinking about your legs, get you thinking about balance. Another really important thing is to, this is hard to hear, give yourself enough time to do the things that you have to do every day. The following stories that I've heard from my senior citizen students over the years, my older students over the years, is that they were in a hurry. They were walking down the path late for an appointment and they turn, oh, I forgot my purse, and they turn and they twist their ankle and they fall. So being in a hurry is one of the most dangerous things you can be in. Normally everything's fine, everything's great, but when something happens, the foot catches on the ground or the sudden bicyclist comes around the corner or something like that, and when you're in a hurry, you're thinking in the future, you're moving faster than you need to move. And again, our bodies are getting older, they need to be taken more, see Betty's practicing over there by herself. She loves to practice balance. She's been with me for what, 10 years? Something like that. She can do the Chinese broadsword left-handed. So she's an exceptional student. But for most of us, just being able to get that springiness in the legs, don't rush. Give yourself enough time to do what you have to do. Don't go out when it's cold and icy unless you have to. These are all simple things you can do to avoid the fall. Because as we get older, the fall can break the wrist, the fall can break the hips, and it can be the beginning of some serious trouble. So hope you find these tips useful. Please subscribe to my channel if you like this stuff. I do lots of music videos and lots of Tai Chi and balance related videos. And check out my website, GeneBurnett.com, and have a nice day and try to stay in balance.